Hello, this is FG back with E4 Anbennar. Today we are picking up with the Kobildzan campaign. The last episode, the mountain exploded because of our greed, and now everything is very devastated. Yeah, which is not great. But we are working on it, and we will be good in no time. Aggressive expansion impact. Yeah, we'll do improved relations. What is the aggressive expansion like? 67, 37, and probably a lot with them, isn't it? 32, actually. It's not bad at all. Where can I move that would have... Oh, this has better supply. Go ahead and make sure that nothing rises up. And... don't think we really are converting... Oh, yeah, we're converting vassal stuff, but it's not that important. And we can actually go to that instead. What about the artificers? Autonomy, okay. Make sure all of them handle any sort of revolt. Sorry if I sounded muffled for a moment. My cat decided to run between me and the microphone. Because she is needy and wants attention, even though I have given her plenty of attention. Okay, how bad is it? It's not that bad. I'll just take that off. Put it into the treasury so I can go ahead and pay off the loans and get back on track. Alright, Anbennar is the new big boy. As far as... where did I put my trade goods map mode? Right here. We don't really need to go any further there. We will eventually need to fight the Vanbury Guild, which is gonna suck. But I am gonna go ahead and actually send... let's send 2 armies over, so I can go ahead and start working on that. Nope, don't need that anymore. Do we have the good Casus Bellies? I don't think we do. No. Alright, when do we get the good Casus Bellies? Shipyards. Counting house. Fortress. I might check that, because that will speed up the whole process of conquering stuff a lot. Aid from Aelantir. Varlingite had flown this long before. He had never even left the inn. For a week he soared over Ulios Lemen, only periodically stopping to sleep or slay a sea beast for food. He hates the taste of the sea. He actually hates using his wings, and he hates that he has not seen an actual pillow for days. But when he nears the Dragon Coast and sees only a cloud of ash, he knows that his presence was needed. The first sign that something was wrong was when the monthly shipments from Kobildzan stopped reaching the Dominion. At first it seemed like a mere logistical failure. As the months went on, though, and as the sea stayed silent, worry spread throughout the inn. Varlingite even personally reached out to the representatives of Malahia, but they too knew nothing of what occurred. The silence grew louder by the day. By the time a single stream of ships had finally arrived with news They came from Garudia, not the Dragon Coast, and spoke of a great blot in the sky which had seemingly wiped out Kobildzan. Varlungite had already flown into action. The kobolds may not be Resentor, but they had become his people, and they had done so much for him. They had created dominion in his name, and merely asked to serve. In their time of need, he could not bring himself to defer responsibility. Varlungite raised a fleet in the Broken Sea, filled it with supplies and Yinnick grain, and sent it towards the Dragon Coast with haste. Then he flew ahead of it to survey the damage for himself. As he nears the coast and spies the devastation, he knows one thing for certain. He alone will not be able to save this place, to undo whatever has been done. Perhaps he can help it heal, and perhaps that will be enough. Alright, so how are we looking devastation-wise? Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it's still bad. How much is going down per day? Like 1. Is there anything we can do that would help decrease devastation? I kind of doubt it, but I do just want to check. Automatons, nope. It's just 15% goods produced. Let's actually do this instead. Yeah. How many do these have? Not enough. Why does this have 38,000 in? I'm sure that's not right. Combat width is currently 36,000. So 38,000 is actually correct. Okay. Yeah, do this for development costs, because I think we're gonna have to develop the shit out of our country once again. Settlers do nothing for us. Advisor cost is fine. Impressment of sailors is nothing. Army tradition. Let's do this. Admin, civil servant, regiment, support. Oh, was our commandant. That kind of sucks. Yeah, discipline is fine. Or Duranic is fine. Obviously, I wanted discipline. Alright, how much does this increase? 52 to nothing else. Never mind, doesn't do anything. I could declare war on them like that. Alright, vassal, you're gonna have to deal with that yourself. Mercantilism is fine. We'll go ahead and take that. And advisor cost and Diplo rep is fantastic. How much is our aggressive expansion decaying by per year? 4. That's pretty good. If I declare war on them, that'd be -3. Nope, didn't mean to do that. I want to check if I can actually do this without them joining in, or if this is going to be a weird eunuch vassal type thing. Or Io-Sahar, Io-Shar, whatever I call it. Because I suspect it's... Oh, it actually isn't going to be a weird vassal thing. Yeah, make some concessions. And then we can do that. Alright. That should actually be done fairly soon. That's... Yep. 0.81. And there's no forts I can upgrade. Oh, I can upgrade these two. I don't really need to, but I can. Do we have a horde anymore? Alright. Here. What religion are they? Regent Court. Excellent. Okay. At some point I will need to go punch the Northern League in the teeth. Take more of their land. I also really need to finish off the conquest of the small country, because I need these two provinces. Actually, I need a lot more than that, never mind. I need, like, 3 more states, and then I will have the entire small country secured, and they will be under our enlightened draconic guidance. Which will be fantastic. Where's West Tiffany? Okay, over there. These are... Yeah, Dragon Dominion doesn't have... So that must be from this. Because what they got claims on was Dolhinia, right? Yeah, it was. So this wouldn't really upset most nations. Can I declare war on Themaria? No, probably not. Alright, that's fine though. It expands out. Lets them have most of the Dolhinia under their control. If I wanted to fight Themaria, I'd probably need to bring in a second army, because I feel somewhat confident fighting Anbennar with one army, but I just need a second one. So, and does this have... You also need 5 more cannons, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so... They can go here. How close is this to being done? Saxon, Cold, X. Nope, wrong one. In raw desperation, he takes a brush and a scalpel to the altar, excavating it from the volcanic dust. It is a small one, a household shrine, not a temple, but it is encircled by iron gadgets, copper cogs, and tiny flecks of dame steer. Each surrounds this miniature monument to Tachyon, the great father of the kobolds. He excavates further, and he comes across a corpse. A kobold has been praying at the altar, and the ash preserved their form perfectly. They're prostrate, begging, their face of grief and sorrow. He traces a finger across their forehead and scales, imagining what they felt as the roar overtook their home. Once again, he thinks, the kobolds had done something he could never have predicted. They woke a dragon who does not exist. As he stares into the eyes of the dead, he remembers the infant Varlingite, who flew across the sea when he heard about the roar. Varlingite had come to the aid of the kobolds, and they had praised him for it. They now build more temples in his name than ever. And even as this help amounted to little more than moral support, he looks at the altar, its cogs and gears. Perhaps with a deft hand guiding the kobold's path, this waste of life could have been avoided. When the dragon reveals himself, the surrounding citizens scream. Claws break through his hands, with each finger thrice as thick as what was once his arm. The scales burst and shred, like an explosive lizard molting all at once. Teeth grow to the size of daggers, then greatswords, then battering rams, and Tachyon's real scales, shining and smooth like they had never been hidden at all. Each could comfortably fit a cannon in their diameter. The blood of this old kobold body splatters on the ground, no longer needed to be maintained. A dragon stands in its stead, and he unfurls his wings. Tachyon flies to Renbanarki, the mouth of the caverns where he once revealed to the world and the kobolds to the world. He roars to announce himself, and he descends and begins digging at the ash with claws faster than any artifice excavator could ever wish to have. He finds the dragon marks, the ancient residue of his claws, which once heralded him breaking his way to the surface. He lays his palms upon them for just a few seconds. He remembers what it felt like the day of frenzy when he began tipping the dominoes which led to this moment. Then he begins to shrink. Tachyon's features condenses themselves, turning liquid as they packed into impossibly small shapes. They rush into a single point, which then expands into a body of a single blue-scaled kobold. Claws are fabricated from thin air, and soon Tachyon is a humanoid once more. He looks at the assembled crowds, takes a blueprint out of the bag that had already been laying by the dragon marks. He says only one thing before walking into the caverns. I believe it is time to get back to work. Alright. So, we get our hold fort back, which is wonderful. Alright. Gets us up to a level 3 hold, which is wonderful. Okay, where can I park these guys? That's decent. And they can make sure to suppress anything that tries to rise up. While I, real quickly, come back to the homeland and try and work on fixing my nation. Okay, so 15 provinces in the Dragon Coast with 25 development. Yeah, we're gonna do that one. want to focus on the provinces with good modifiers. Rigorous researchers, hurrah! Okay, that one's done. Okay, we are up to 9 provinces. These ones are totally obliterated. Alright. Improve static artificer capacity by 1. Wonderful. No pun intended. Okay. So, probably build it where it'll do the most for the moment. So, go like that. And then... Damn, I need more Diplo points. Okay, yeah, that can get upgraded fully. That's upgraded fully. Okay, we're transferring all that down here. Alright, what's the devastation look like? Ah, it's looking better. Yeah, I can grant that. Alright, and this is going to be developed much more. Because it is our capital, obviously. Mill. Speaking of mills, build one there. Okay. Courthouse or town hall. Yeah, I'd prefer to get that done first. Okay, where are my other army? I think I must have already moved them up in there, haven't I? Yes, I have. Alright. So, let's go to this, and we are going to cut those off. Shock damage. Nope, don't want tanks. Care about that. Morale of armies. Yeah, do the arcane blaster, and then we can get this one for extra land fire damage. Alright, we're gonna call the Vanberry Guild into this, Anthem area. Alright, everybody. It's time for a big old war. Balloon burst packs. Alright, research. Shock damage received. Don't care. Diplomats, diplomatic relations. Don't care all that much. Vendorless stall. Brass prosthesis. I'll do the vendorless stall. Need to knock the Marriott out of this coalition. Or not this coalition, but this war. There's the coalition, it's back. Theoretically, how much can I take from Themaria? Do they have any provinces of much value? They have a gold province. I don't even know what I declared this war for. Should probably get whatever the war goal is. Alright. That was a mistake. So I could also just piece the Maria out for nothing, besides breaking their truce, which would probably actually be a good idea. We could also go knock Sornicate out of the war, because they are the other major problem. Stack wipe. Another stack wipe. Alright, what can we take? Axe of Ascension. Hallucinogenic fungi action as a powerful anesthetic. But even its strength is unable to keep the patient at ease. He screams in prayer and in pain as his torso is rent open. Muscles and sinews gave way to the blade. Ribs are parted to make space for something new. Three flesh magicians work at the body, opening and closing wounds with care, while a fourth provides the subject with support tinctures for suffering. Adjust to the right, Tachyon says, still crafting new veins and weaving them between organs. The kobold had initially begged him not to enter the operating room. They had believed this work to be beneath him, to be less than what a dragon should burden himself with. These entreaties, though, meant nothing to Tachyon, who had been living as 100 artificers for 1,000 years. As the kobold sought to evolve from their form, so had he. And so now, just as he always has been, he is more interested in the laboratory than the courtroom. The simple fact that he revealed himself did not mean he would cease experimentation. Alright. As the doctors stare through the glass of the operating theater, they whisper to each other aggressively. This isn't going to be helpful, and you know it, says the first. Fire is pretty, sure, but we don't need to waste precious biomana on it. We have flamethrowers. We don't need biological fire breathers when metal ones will serve just fine. Only slightly louder than the first, the second doctor responds, I should stab you for that. First, to breathe fire is holy, and I ask that you not blaspheme in front of a dragon. Second, how many forges could be created if we did not need fuel? How much iron could we smelt in a day without the need for coal or wood? There could be more uses for dragonfire than just torching soldiers. Think of what Kobildzan could be. Glaring at the second for failing to stay quiet, the first doctor replies, or we could become far more efficient. Imagine how many lives we could save if we could digest rocks and minerals. If the ash bearing the dragon coast could become our food rather than our death. Imagine if kobolds never starved. Wouldn't that be a bit better than some fire? For just a moment, Tachyon looked up from his surgery to stare at the doctors, all without betraying any particular emotion. Both of them freeze in fear and apology, then drop to their knees in prostration. Without saying a word, Takian goes back to his work. Soon afterwards, the second doctor is once again whispering, maybe it would be better, but it would not be draconic. The two separate before causing another scene, each writing letters to the technocrats and Dragon Priest and Renvarki. Their recommendations hit home, and the next biological project of the country includes Dragonfire Sacks for extra land fire damage. Alright, what can we get rid of? I'll get rid of War Golems. Let me check. Where's my modifiers? Land fire damage, 17%. What about for the artificers? 0.4, 0.7, 30%. Oh, well, whatever. We do a lot of fire damage. Yeah, we'll use the prestige. Pilgrimage. Alright, what level are we on now? Should be like 4 or 5. That's pretty good. And we split these guys in half. Split them in half. Yeah, he maintains control. And absolutism, that's fun. Alright, the Maria. Alright, get that. Here, here, here. Here, here, and here. Nope. We have max innovativeness, which is 10% all power cost, which is wonderful. Don't need any more, though. Yep, get rid of that alliance. Okay. If they want to keep going, that's fine. We can go a little bit longer as well. Alright. The Maria. We defeat them in battle, they should have a pretty bad time, so we're gonna go ahead and start moving these guys. We're gonna lose 4,000, but that's 4,000, 8,000, which is 5 and then 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Alright, how about these armies? 35, 25, and combat with is 36. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. I gotta go further. There goes our Inquisitor. Oh, we do want another Inquisitor. Alright. Sure, grant that. Grant it. Yeah, I'll take the movement speed. Pay off your debts. Alright, and we can build that. 2 of those. Bunch of those. Measuring the world. Hurrah! Alright. And we can get these guys all together. It's 36.25. Get rid of them. 38. Alright, we don't need cavalry anymore. Okay, I need to head that way. They can go back down south. Head that way. Should have gotten... yeah, it's fine. Okay, so these guys need to get together and move on over here. How many men does Temeria have left? Actually, a lot. I'm a little bit surprised. I want to develop first, so I'm going to do that. I'd rather have the 10% development cost. Does this have? Yeah, that has the modifier that I want. Go here, I'm gonna do a bunch of these. Hit that button again. Alright, so that is a whole bunch. In fact, that is the 15 we need done for the Dragon Coast. Then we need 40 transports, and we need to develop our vassal. Probably going to be more expensive. Oh yeah, we have an army over here. Probably should have brought that over that way, but it's fine. Get that done. Okay, where is my army? This is not the actual full army, that's fine. They can get marched down that way. Neither of the allies is willing to peace out. Go ahead and do this. Yeah. so they want regions. I don't want that. They want these, and then these two, and then that one. So we can go ahead and flip all of these over to Dragon Dominion. Right, that's what they want. Want that. This needs to go to the Dragon Dominion as well. Are these part of the Dolhinia region? Okay, Mezdarku, no, we'll do with that. Alright, get those upgraded. Do that, get everyone else upgraded. Where's the trade fleet? Get them upgraded, they can protect trade in the Serpent's Head to make sure everything gets to the proper trade node. As for this, we want that. Yep. Tribute 2 grand to the Horde. Alright. They want out. They want out. Your allies are abandoning you, Anbennar. Yeah, I want that. Want to get Minmas or Themaria to give up. They're also kind of exploding, which is great. But, yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Of course, that goes back to them. That means we now have Harath under control. At least the parts that aren't occupied by the Vanbury Guild. Okay, so that is what I want, and then I'll get hand that to him, sure. this can go to the Dragon Dominion. Sorry for the momentary pause. Had to spray my cat with a spray bottle because she was chewing on wires. Okay, so fortunately, I do not think we are going to be able to knock the Marriott out of the war without, like, effort. Which is kind of unfortunate, but I really should do it because I really need to get rid of that, what's it called? Get rid of their alliance just because it's going to make life easier later. I can do Sornicade though, that's a little bit easier. Although now that we only have basically 2 nations to fight in this war, it should be better. Especially if we can go and annihilate their army right there, that'd be kind of nice. Alright, that should make them a little bit more viable. We'll take that one province so we can make those borders a little bit better. And we won't have to do anything when we go back against Anbennar. Hurrah! Right, take my boys down that way. All of those really part of... No, those aren't part of Dolhenia, those are just Vacadonia. Oh, I get why they want them, though. Give that back to the Dragon Dominion. Why do they have a treaty with Sornicade? Is that a religious thing? Religions, defenders. No. Oh, it's because I co-belligerated the Maria. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. The whole idea to take stuff from the Maria kind of went out the window, so... Is this all of Dolhenia? Let me just double check. Yep, have that. Gonna have that. Gonna have that. I have those. Alright. That should be all of Dolhenia. Which is good. Alright. Where's my other army? They're over here. Let's send them this way. Okay, we should now have the Imperialism Casus Belli, which is great. Easing the pain, Dragon Dominion. Where is this? I want to build 40 of these. Nope. Call that template pate. 1. Where does this need to go? Baron Cell. Right there, okay. So we're gonna have to sail them over. Okay, that's doable. call up the boys. 11 development there, that's fine. It's easy. Sure, we'll take that. Yes. Borderless stall, excellent. Okay. With that, we can fund the Artificer once again, Runebot Network. We want all of these lands to be nice and under control. Actually, no, we want to switch, because that's already over there, so we'll go ahead and wipe them out. We can go sit. Where's a decent province? 58,000 is pretty good. Oh. $7,000. And get a slightly better maneuver general. What is this guy looking like? We'll take that one instead. That works. And they need to get moved this way. And we can go ahead and contribute to the horde. Reachability. Okay. It's 25. 28. 25. $25, 21, 25. Okay, so where will the last province be? Excellent, and we just need those 40 transports. You know, the press. Take the unrest. Okay. If I was going to invade Davik, I need to fight Vern and Dame's Crown. Doable. Get rid of the cavalry here. I need to improve with my subjects. I'm gonna need to invade Delir, which is gonna be a bit of a pain. Flashing out, spy, Trug. Bay of Varen cells. That's the broken sea. I'm gonna beat a change. Okay. Great power. Okay, I have Delayer done. Okay. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. I'll start working on these dams. And then we can build trade depots. Right there, right there, right there. Okay. 25 development. Ugh. Maybe this has, yeah, that has 25 development. Maintains control. Okay. How is the devastation? It's fine. Okay, the edicts can all come off. No edict. No edict. Actually, it's probably quicker to do states, edicts, no edict, no edict. Alright, so we're looking good. None of our provinces have much devastation anymore. It's great. Okay, and now we just need to send these guys to Varencell, which is right there. Yeah, we'll do the goblins. Goblins are cool. We're fine with them. Okay, so we have the appropriate amount of trade there. You know what? We should build a flagship. Trade ship power and engagement width. Let's do that. Okay, what's the horde looking like these days? Level 7 horde. It's pretty good. Alright. The procession of ships becomes the greatest pilgrimage the Horde has ever seen. From the kobolds' vast colonial holdings, the Erlantiri come in droves. They come with grain, they come with supplies, and they come with piety. The Koros of Hroth, who once saw Damestyr as the blood of their slain god, sift through the ashes, the mouth axe, to reignite the magical minds. The Airdan arrived with relics and magic, helping recreate the infrastructure which had helped the Dragon Coast prosper. The Eunuchs, for their part, are the greatest in numbers, for they followed the banner of Varenglite all the way to Revanarchy. The processions funded by the Dragon Dominion, the coast... In the processions funded by the Dragon Dominion, the coast is revitalized. The Runeborn bring great treasures to the Horde, and they resettle the farms disrupted by the Roar. Families bloom in Varenglite's honor, and life slowly returns to a devastated region. The Horde is rebuilt, but is not rebuilt solely through kobold craftswork and the old tales of dragon priests. It is revitalized through the artifacts of Elantyr, carried by the elves who have ascended to forms of claw and scale. The dragon cult grows, and its flock grows with it. Alright, so 3 festivals worth of gold, new Ashen Skies, Fleet of the Dragon, and the Dragon Dominion get that. Also a whole bunch of Resdandy kobolds, which is always fun. Including in the Deep Woods. Or whatever you want to, whatever that area is called. Regions. The Damandrad. What if I can do that when I have the money. Did I get the money from that? Okay. So we need to be the greatest trade power there. Yeah, should we declare on Mercother? Imperialism? Sure. Sounds good to me. We'll declare on Mercother itself. Alright, I do need a diplomat back. So we'll take the one from Davik. I can go like that. And speaking of Davik, 8,000. Do this. Call on Wesdam. Take that off. Wait, do they have... Ah! Yeah. That's funny. They have the mage's piece, so they're not physically allowed to join the war. Because no two Anbennarian countries can fight each other. Alright. They can get upgraded, and they can protect trade in Serpent's Head. These guys go ahead and go. And from Bavik, what we really want is that. We're gonna need the entirety. Vangheim. If I take all of these, still really doesn't make anyone upset. Okay. Okay, we did actually lose that battle. It's fine, they won't actually be able to chase us down. Oh, we're just gonna rest and reload and prepare to go back in, because we can fight them far longer than they can fight us. Even if we're doing 2 wars at one time. Of course, we have this army dealing with that entire region of the Yin. This army also needs artificers. It's part of the problem. sure. That... Courting of troops... Alright, so for Merkather, we want to take, like, all of these provinces. That. Of course, we want even more money for the Horde. Up to Magnificent, which is... yeah, that's good. And we can upgrade these two. Great. Really don't want to fight the Vanberry Guild. Feels like we're buddies. Plus they're useful for doing the whole unit conquest, so... yes. No. Path of Gold. Just mostly Vanberry Guild at this point. What if I just, like, transfer trade power here? That way. Those, they can come up here. What do they want? Let me actually do this myself. Ooh, pillaging. Is that gonna be... so that's 29 for them and 27 for us. Hey, that does actually get us. That's cool. Alright, manufactories. Don't care. Stock exchanges, however. We'll build a bunch of those. I desperately need trade power. And a whole bunch of provinces. We'll take this for the counting house. Which is where we are going to get truly, truly absurdly wealthy. Alright. There's all of those. Siege down. Everwharf has been sieged. Avik. I know we were once friends, so please, just give up. Not even interested in your own provinces. Just surrender your Garudian holdings and we'll be all good. Alrighty. I want these island provinces as well. Yeah, I'll take those. And thankfully, I will not have to core any of this crap. Alright. Damn, I forgot to grab that province. Man. I really am just gonna have to fight everyone in North Aeland here just to secure trade routes. Which sucks. I'm gonna make so much money. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be so filthy rich. Alright, I'm gonna pillage your capital for funsies. Give me your money. Transfer trade power. Alright. Even though they do have one set of precursor goods, it's fine. Alright. I grant that. Okay, so what I want is all of these provinces. Kobildzan. Okay. All of these need to go to me. Because that way it is significantly cheaper. Alright, and then we want all of those. The little islands. I think some of these have decent trade goods, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Gems, fishes, whatever. Fishes, whatever. Gems, gems. Fish. Livestock. Alright. All of these go to me. Bueno. Have fun coring those provinces. The worm way. I can do that. And, of course, the Aelantieri army needs to stick over there so that they can siege down... Or, not siege down, but make sure that they can fight all of the rebels that are about to pop up. Sweet Mother of God, these guys need to stabilize their country. Sending to greed. All right. Alright. One set of rebels, two set of rebels. Excellent. Trade efficiency is wonderful. These guys can go this way. Okay, do that. I don't think we actually get any artificer capacity from doing that, but we get money for the horde. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and upgrade all of our forts. Alright, who's upset? They are... Placate. Excellent. There. Here. No. Why would you even suggest that? Oh, Vern is in this war. Did Vern leave the Empire? No. Where's my Imperial? There it is. No, they did not. Roman Thought Network offense. Really? Yep, rotten, yep, that. Where are you going to, buddy? Right there. Ooh, Orn Valium. They just recently got their mission tree. I've recorded this series over, like, the course of 2 or 3 months, so by the time you watch this episode, it's been, like, probably a month since I recorded the first one. And also, as you're watching this episode, it means that I've finished up the whole series, so that's cool. Does this make anyone upset? No. How much can I get away with taking? Sure. Alrighty, so we're gonna pour everything up. They can go sit over in this province and suppress all these filthy rebellions who don't believe in the dragons. And research another invention, not because it does all that much, but just because. Alright. Yes, we are at maximum absolutism, which is wonderful. And we can... Here... Alright. Give that to a world port. Or a Froy Inlet. Dog. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Alright. It's time to wait a little bit for our vassal to finish up pouring their stuff. We still have claims on the rest of Delir, which is good. That instantly knocks 2 out. Yeah, how much of this are we gonna need? How many Skalhildic faith provinces are there? Just one. I can take that. And then I will also need a Vangheim. How many? Is there a lot of harpies up here? Oh, the harpies did a bit of colonization. That's cool. They did not purge the orcs. That is very interesting. Still have the Adshaw dynasty. Alright. Level 3. Oh, that one. Already have one over there. Level of horde are we at? Yeah. Dragon Coast. Varkey. Kobold traps. Let's do one. Where's another place for a good one? Right there. Okay, and our trade. What happened to our trade? Armada. Right here. And these guys. Get rid of the two-deckers and move them right that way. These guys can go protect trade. Okay. 50% and Trug. This is Trug, right? Trug, Baroncell. So many Vrezdani kobolds. Could I potentially... Economy actions... Would it be charter company? Maybe. You guys, request to share maps. Dominrod. Nope. It is very cute that you guys are colonizing it, though. Although I believe the Wood Elves have beaten us to it. It looks like these guys formed it. The blue ones. Okay, what is the colonization, or not the colonization, but the core is looking like? Decent. They are going to need to go in over here and slaughter Igard. It's all one colonial region. It's a very big colonial region. And I think I'm going to end this episode here. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.